I trade spot and futures on BYDFi, and if you want to set up an account now, send me a message once you've created your account with your username and UID on Telegram, and I'll put you into a randomly selected prize draw. I've got $10, $20 and $50 gift cards to give out, which basically go against your trading fees, giving you free trading fees basically until the gift cards run out. BYDFi. Hello everybody, let's have a look at one particular coin today on a Sunday. Might as well. And I keep trying to put this idea across that alt season 2.0 may continue, it may not. We've seen some big moves from some of these, well, I suppose some of these random altcoins really. ITP obviously being the recent one. Kind of surprised at that. I think there was a bit of a liquidity reason for that to have happened from what I understand. But you know, even some of these more boring coins that I've been in for a while are moving against Bitcoin. Bitcoin down again, like basically 0.5%. Ethereum down 1.5%. ICP 21. EOS 4%. And Atom. And so today we're going to look at XDC, which is not the first time I've looked at it on the channel. It's basically I've been looking at it since we've consolidated into this area. This 200 exponential and simple moving average, with a view to basically see it continue with this, well, significant uptrend really, which is basically what it is. Sort of basically finding a low down here at 2 cents, rallying all the way up to 9 cents, but basically a structured pattern on the way up. Now, this isn't the largest of volumes you'll ever see on any coin, which allows for it to do these big moves up and back down again. When you have small trading volume, which is what it is, and this isn't available on Binance, it's not, you know, and I don't really know why, to be honest, because I've looked at the fundamentals of it, and it is like an XRP. It's no different. It's exactly one of those, and it seems like they've made some decent progress in what it is that they're looking to achieve. Yeah, it's hard to take some things on face value, but it would appear that they have digitized gold for the United Arab Emirates or something like that, and so they are running sort of like I suppose records of gold keeping through their blockchain, which is, well, pretty sweet. I'm not particularly interested in what is real and what's not when it comes to these sort of things. You know, like I say, you can always find a reason to be bullish on the fundamentals of anything. I don't read that many white papers, mostly because I'm dyslexic, and secondly because I don't understand what the hell they're talking about. Even if I wasn't dyslexic, I wouldn't understand what they're on about for the most part. I trade charts. And this chart particularly is still very interesting to me. So after the first move and the second move, the one thing that we always look for would be a retest of a golden cross. We had our first major golden cross over here, bringing us from all the way from what, 3.4 cents, basically scraping 9.3 cents, and then consolidating all the way down to 200 exponential, 200 simple, 200 simple, 200 exponential, 200 simple, and we're doing the same thing again. Not one candle body has closed below a 200 simple, and for the most part they've all closed above a 200 exponential, which is basically one hell of a giant golden cross retest. All these lower moving averages, so we're talking about the higher term moving averages being the 200 simple and exponential, are facing up, so technically the support is rising ever so slightly, so now it brings us to 4.8 for the exponential, 4.86, 4.87 for the simple moving average, and every time we touch it we are having some kind of reaction. Now, looking at these candle bodies recently, there are moves. I mean, this was a sweet one, this one, all the way from the 200 exponential, and it sort of fizzled out very quickly, but it did a 21% move in a day. So what this is tribute to is the volume, which is low. There's reason to be bullish down at these low levels. There is reason to want to buy it at these low levels. Main reason is that with this kind of structure, higher high, higher low structure, not breaking down on its formation, it suggests a new high. That's what it suggests, which sounds ridiculous because a new high would be beyond that, 9 cent or whatever, which currently is around 90% zone. It does suggest a higher move than that, so there is reason to want to buy it for a move of that size. But the volume and whether it's the popularity or whatever has not allowed for it. Not yet, anyway. So if we're looking at this chart, right this very moment in time, it's got all the components for something that you'd think about buying and holding on a spot position. A futures position, I don't even know if it's possible, but if it was, I probably wouldn't bother. But if there were to be a perfect entry point or close to it, it would be on a 200 exponential or a simple, which is really not too far away from where we are right now. But the wicks themselves, especially this last one over here, the very first time we came down below it, makes it a little less convincing for any kind of futures trade. So it looks quite good. What's momentum doing? Not really much at all, really. It's just subject to the volatility of the most recent portion of this chart over the last couple of weeks, which is spiky and a little messy. What else have we got over here? Nothing really to write home about. It really is just a chart of structure. Now we've got a golden cross followed by a death cross. I think the main thing that we'll be looking for at this point now would be a final golden cross on a 4-hourly. Because when you get these sort of sideways, I suppose accumulations really, but sideways movements where all the moving averages start to blend into one, it does make it feel and appear like it wants to finally break either out or down. So at the moment, we're surfing the Bollinger Band Center, which seems to be the more important of all these moving averages right now. Basically, Bollinger Band strategy is to be honest, it's one of the better ones. It's very simple, and it always gives you that subtle edge as to which direction it's going to go in. So for the moment, and for the last couple of days, we've been above that area, and we've tried to move up, and we've just not quite done it yet. So what we're looking for is to hold more or less this area, this 5 cent area, maybe a tiny fraction down, the 5 cent area to hold. If 5 cent holds and we can make our way back up to around 5.1, 5.2, the golden cross on this 4-hourly should help to perk up the momentum with a little bit more conviction this time, and we can begin this uptrend. Now, I've been in this coin now for what feels like about 3 or 4 weeks. It's been quite a while now, since the very first time we hit that golden cross retest back down on the daily around these areas. Yeah, it's probably about quite a while ago now, October. So the first one was around here, and then I picked up some more around here. So yeah, I've been in this for quite a while. So, obviously I am biased to my own analysis, because I believe my analysis will provide me with some gains. They usually do, not always, they usually do. And at the moment, this chart still suggests that this will have another run and start popping up. Now, obviously, I'm skeptical about how high the market is capable of going in the short term, mostly because of Bitcoin's overheated nature, and also because if Bitcoin does start to run up again, which I think it will, the closer it gets to 48,000, the more likely everything is to pull back from that area. So, yeah, I'm taking profit on the way up on everything that I've got, and the first take profit area for me is going to be this area, this candle body high before this latter stage. So we're talking a 7.4 cent zone. That's first take profit. Second take profit is going to be up here around the 9.5. Because I would expect a new all-time, a new local high on this one. The final take profit is going to be up here around 13.5. Now, like I say, I always try and put this across, because I know some people will always want to copy a trade, but then they will not listen to the reality. The reality is that we might be going on for this all season 2.0, and it might be amazing. But we might not, because Bitcoin is at a deadly area. It's on thin ice, really. It is on thin ice. It could have even finished already, but we don't really know. But I still think there's a little further to go on it. But that doesn't mean that I wait out for absolute all-time highs on positions that I've taken, recently. And I say within the last 4 or 5 weeks, because I appreciate that we might be on borrowed time, and I also appreciate that it could have already finished. So thinking about entry points and exit points, it's always worthy of having exit points all the way up, because this isn't the parabolic alt season of 2021. This isn't where the entire market blows its top off and then consolidates for a 12 to 18 month period. That's not the time. This is one of what will be a handful of alt seasons that take place over a several year period. And this one so far has happened, and it's been going on for a little while. What we're seeing now is some reactions across the boards for certain altcoins, but most altcoins have doubled, or tripled, or obviously some have done a lot more than that. Since we were calling for this alt season, what feels like this, when was that? About 3 months ago or more. So obviously from those entry points, some of these altcoins have done amazing. So I'm not saying that this is definitely going to work, but if there is a chart out there that does look appealing, this is one of them, and this is one of the charts that I have entered after the first stage of the alt season. So the first stage of the alt season, did those trades, they're done, they're closed, profit taken, banked, enjoyed. And alt season 2.0, this is one of the charts that I surprisingly I like the most. I appreciate it's going to come, people are not going to like it for whatever reason. There's always people out there that don't like it, but it's just a chart to be traded. Similar to how I spoke about EOS is a chart to be traded. EOS isn't the best thing you've ever seen in the world, but it is a chart to be traded. I'm not saying that EOS is the best thing you've ever done in the world. It's not life-changing technology. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that there's a chart to be traded with decent entry point and exit points, leading on to some serious gains if that chart actually produces what it suggests that it will. Same thing with XDC. I'm not saying that this is something you should have tattooed to your forehead. I'm just saying this is a chart with a setup that is asking to be traded. Look, it might not work because of all the other things that I've said. Bitcoin borrowed time, all this sort of stuff is real, right? If there was no Bitcoin, then this would probably have more chance of succeeding because it would be allowed to fulfill its own destiny, which currently points to further upside. But we all know that the nature of crypto is shrouded by Bitcoin's by Bitcoin's strength or weakness. So there is always that. So you've got to look through every altcoin through the lens of a Bitcoin chart. So that's the only side note I would put to this. Currently, we're consolidating. I think we've come to the end of the consolidation, to be honest with you. We're in an accumulation, and we are also in a bullish formation, waiting for the next pop to 7.5, 9.5, and then maybe at best make our way up to around 13. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Like I say, I'm not suggesting you do this. This is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm expecting, but it doesn't mean that it's going to work. You do what you want to do. I appreciate that this one is a bit of a wild card because it's not a high cap coin, and also I don't think many people talk about this coin, so it's not very cool. And sometimes you need an altcoin to be cool for it to move, don't you? That's just the way it works. No one's going to buy an altcoin that no one's ever heard of. Everyone wants to buy the cool thing, don't they? When was the last time you saw someone wearing high-tech trainers? A long time ago. They're just not cool. No one's going to buy them. But if you saw, I don't know, if some proper geezer started wearing high-tech trainers, everyone would buy and the price would go up. But until then, they're low. In fact, I don't even know if they make them anymore, or even if you've heard of them. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Take it easy. Have a nice day.